We live in an age terrified of silence. Every second of our day is filled with sound, notifications, conversations, distractions. We scroll endlessly, not because we're seeking connection, but because we're running from ourselves. When was the last time you sat in true silence? No music, no phone, no noise, just your own thoughts echoing back at you? Most people can't do it for more than a few minutes. Because silence exposes us. It shows us everything we've avoided, everything we've buried beneath the noise. But here's the truth the modern world forgot. Solitude is not weakness. It's strength in its purest form. The Stoics knew this. They didn't fear being alone. They sought it. They walked into solitude like soldiers walking into battle, knowing it would test them, humble them, transform them. Marcus Aurelius ruled an empire, yet every night he wrote to himself in silence, not to the Senate, not to the crowd, but to the soul that only he could face. Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be, he wrote. Be one. And that is the paradox of solitude. It feels empty, yet it is where you finally begin to fill yourself. It feels lonely, yet it's where you meet the person you've ignored the longest, you. When you strip away noise, you begin to see truth. Who you are, what you want, what truly matters. The crowd teaches conformity. Solitude teaches clarity. We confuse solitude with loneliness, but they are opposites. Loneliness is a hunger. Solitude is a feast. Loneliness cries, I need someone to make me feel whole. Solitude whispers, you already are. True solitude isn't an escape from people. It's a return to yourself. It's when you stop asking, who do they want me to be? And start asking, who am I really? It's intentional, deliberate, sacred. A space where you can hear the still, quiet voice of your own wisdom, a voice drowned out by the chaos of the world. The Stoics practiced this daily. They would take walks alone, meditate on death, reflect on the fleeting nature of time and emotion. They knew that a man who fears being alone is a man who doesn't know himself. When you learn to be alone, you learn to be unshakable. You stop depending on the world to fill your emptiness. You become self-contained, self-governed, self-aware. The man who masters solitude cannot be manipulated. He doesn't chase attention because he's found peace in his own company. He doesn't crave approval because he's already approved himself. That is power, quiet, grounded, unbreakable power. You don't run from silence anymore. You start to crave it, because in that stillness you find something the world can't give you. Clarity. In solitude, philosophy becomes practice. You stop talking about wisdom. You start living it. The Stoics gave us tools for the inner life, principles forged not in theory but in trial. The first virtue is the only good. It's the compass that keeps you steady when no one's watching. What matters most isn't what you say in public, but who you are when it's just you, in the dark, faced with a choice. Integrity lives in solitude. It's in the small decisions that no one sees. Whether you take the shortcut, whether you keep your word, whether you act from principle or convenience. The second, the dichotomy of control. Some things are within your control, most things are not. The weather, the opinions of others, the past, the future, you can't command those, but you can command your mind. Epictetus said, it's not what happens to you, but how you react that matters. In solitude, you learn this deeply. There's no one to blame, no one to distract you, only your own thoughts and responses. The third, negative visualization. Imagine loss, pain, failure, not to invite despair, but to prepare for it. Because when you face the worst in your mind, you meet life with grace instead of panic. You stop asking, why me? And start saying, try me. Solitude strengthens these muscles. It turns philosophy from words into weapons, not against others, but against your own weakness. The Stoic doesn't escape emotion, he masters it. He feels deeply, but he is not controlled by what he feels, because control of the self is the greatest empire a man can rule. We are raised to believe that strength comes from numbers, followers, friends, networks, applause. But Stoicism teaches the opposite. Real strength is what remains when you have none of those things left. Self-reliance is not isolation. It's independence of mind. It's the realization that the opinions of others are weather, and you are the mountain. You cannot build inner peace on external approval. It will collapse the moment the applause stops. In solitude, you stop performing. You stop seeking validation. You begin to listen to your own judgment, to trust it, refine it, live by it. And from that trust comes resilience. You stop being fragile. Because your sense of worth is no longer negotiable. Every trial becomes training. Every loss becomes wisdom. Every setback becomes a teacher. Because solitude teaches you something no crowd ever will. You can survive. And not just survive, and you can thrive. Because everything you truly need was never outside you. It's been waiting in silence all along. The goal of solitude isn't to escape life. It's to live it better. When you know yourself, you bring a different energy into the world. Your relationships deepen. Your words carry weight. Your presence steadies others. The man who has met himself no longer fears loss. He doesn't chase shallow connections. He attracts depth because he is depth. This is the paradox. Solitude doesn't make you colder, it makes you warmer, because you stop needing people and start appreciating them. You stop clinging and start connecting. When you no longer seek completion in others, you can finally love without fear. You can give without losing yourself. You can stand alone and still open your heart. That's what Stoicism really teaches. To be strong not so you can dominate, but so you can serve, love, and lead without breaking. So take time for solitude. Wake early. Sit with your thoughts. Walk without music. Write without an audience. Let your mind unfold. And when you come back to the world, you'll carry something it desperately lacks. Stillness. Because solitude isn't emptiness. It's presence distilled. And once you find peace within, no storm outside can touch you. This is the Stoic path. The quiet road to strength, clarity, and peace. The journey where solitude is not your enemy, but your greatest teacher.